Hi there, Dr.RainbowSequoia here. I'm really excited to be making this video. Today, I just want to talk a little bit more about vibrations. Everything has a vibration, and that means everything has a frequency. These are ultimately the same words, vibration and frequency. Because atoms make up everything around us, which I've talked about a little bit in my previous videos, these electrons flying around atoms allow them to have electromagnetic fields. Everything has a frequency due to this electromagnetic field. Everything has a vibration. So this is incredibly cool because it means that everything has an expression, a way of showing up, and these vibrations look different based on what these things are. So, because everything has a frequency and everything has a vibration, that means that we have a physical vibration. We have a vibrational component, an expression that is being shown and put out from our body. We are existing in a certain vibration or frequency. Frequency and vibration ultimately mean the same thing. They're denoting a way that something is energetically showing up. For example, our bodies. Our bodies have a vibration. This is due to our cells having a vibration because they're made of atoms, and our tissues end up having a vibration, which leads to our organs. And this builds our ultimate human body. All of our tissues come together, and it creates our body, which has a physical vibration and actual energetic expression. And this can be felt outside of our bodies. This can go out about 6 feet. And when you're standing next to someone, your physical fields are interacting, your energetic fields are interacting, and this allows for information exchange. So what does this mean? Where are we existing in our vibration? How are we feeling? How are we thinking? How are we living our lives? Can tell us a lot about the vibration that we are existing in, and even the vibrational choices we may be choosing day after day that we don't quite understand are contributing to our life factors and how we're feeling throughout the day. All of these things that we're putting in, the lower vibrational they are, the more susceptible we are to dis-ease. So this word dis-ease, disease. We are more susceptible to getting types of symptoms, types of illnesses, types of things that really bring us down in today's society. And it's encouraging to know about these vibrations and how they're contributing to our body, because it means the more that we work on increasing our vibration, the more control we have over our health, and we can create an environment in our body where disease cannot survive. So what is making up the vibration of our body? We have the vibrations of all of our cells and tissues, and we have the vibrations we're putting out. This means our thoughts and our feelings, things that are contributing to the emotional health and the energetic health of our body. It's incredible how much we're controlling based on how we feel, and we aren't quite taught that. So let's dive in a little bit more on what that means. So emotions on the higher end of the vibrational scale, we like to say, are elevated emotions. These are emotions we really enjoy feeling, such as happiness, joy. Love is an extremely important one. Love is concrete and binds everything together. So when we're feeling these higher vibrational emotions, our cells are thriving, our body's thriving. It's creating restoration within the body. More ease is being promoted, like we talked about. But when we're on the opposite end and we start feeling things and we have prolonged times in these emotions like fear, guilt, shame, anger, things that really have dense, heavy weight to it, we can tell that these frequencies are much slower, and it creates that within your tissues, within your body. And it's interesting how when we start feeling a certain type of way and we focus on this, it then kind of starts encouraging that pattern to continue occurring. So we want to be really intentional about our vibrations, our thoughts, and our emotions, because it can change our lives, redirecting our attention on those. So once again, emotions that are on the higher end: gratitude, appreciation, love, compassion, forgiveness. These are all high vibrational emotions that allow our body more ease. Our cells are feeling more restored, our body's feeling lighter. we're experiencing more of a faster frequency, which means our body is able to do so much more. On the opposite end of this, we have our slower frequencies. We have things that we might feel, such as anger, shame, guilt, hate, fear. These are things that we do experience sometimes in our lives, but you want to be very careful not to harbor them within your body and stay in these mindsets for long periods of time, because it affects your tissues, it affects your cells, and it will affect how your body's feeling. Like we talked about earlier, the slower the vibrations our body's having to process and our body is existing in, the more dis-ease we are susceptible to. The beauty of this means that we can change our vibrational expression and encourage it to be a more high vibrational lifestyle. And we can encourage our thoughts, our emotions, analyze what we're thinking on a daily basis. Pay attention to how we're feeling, how our hearts are really feeling. Are we listening to our hearts? Are we listening to our gut instincts? Really honor your body and honor your soul, and start paying attention to how things make you feel, because focusing your life on a more high vibrational aspect can really be amazing, and you can see some incredible benefits from doing so. One cool study that I really love that shows how these vibrations are showing up from a physical perspective, there's a Japanese scientist, Dr. Emoto. He did these amazing studies where he took water, which water has an incredible way of showing us what we're putting into it. And I'm going to explain that through his studies. So he took water and he would put words or intentions or emotions into this water by focusing his energy, and he had a lot of groups do this. And then he would freeze the water and he would take a picture of it while it was under a microscope, and that image would represent the word or emotion that they put into the water. They put things in the water like thank you, peace, I love you, self-love, family love, truth, wisdom, namaste. These were all things that ended up creating beautiful pictures under the microscope. On the opposite end, they also put things like, you fool, you make me sick, I want to kill you. Very negative forms of expression. And they took pictures of those as well. And they had very disorganized images. They were not organized, they were not beautiful, and they were not in crystalline form, quite like the beautiful words that they put in the beginning. So this gives a great example of how things have a physical expression. And just because we don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't look different in certain forms of viewing vibrations. So we want to show up in a high vibrational way, and we want to improve our lives so that we have more control and we have more room to experience things like love, joy, compassion, so that these things have room to show up in our lives. So with all of this being said, I just want to recap that we have our own vibration. We have a way of showing up in the world, and we can exist more on the high vibrational scale or the low vibrational scale. It's completely up to us, but I love to teach people that we are in control of changing our circumstances by changing how our internal world's vibrating, how it's existing in the world around us. The most important thing of all is to love yourself and to show up for yourself. Listen to your heart, listen to yourself, put practices in place that encourage self-love so that you are then in the best position to love everyone else around you. When we are in a position to love ourselves, it frees us up from all the suffering and pain that can sometimes anchor us in this world, and it frees us up to give us more space to love those around us, which then affects the earth. It affects everything. Everything is connected. Everything affects everything around it. And we as humans have an extreme expression being here. We can do so much good and experience so many incredible things by really paying attention and being intentional about our lives and choosing love first. That is one thing that the world really needs right now, is love. And when we work on ourselves and heal ourselves, we heal the world. When we love ourselves, we love the world. We are sending that love out because it is a vibration. We are sending it out and we are expressing that vibration. So it's really important that we are paying attention to ourselves, paying attention to how we're showing up, and make sure that we're choosing the more high vibrational choices so that we can really experience the greatest joy and benefits from being here. So to finish this video off, we can choose to exist on the higher end of vibrations or the lower end. And this just means faster and slower. It takes more energy to process these slower frequencies, and we want to allow our body the freedom to not have to do that. When we choose higher vibrational frequencies, it creates more ease within the body. So when we're paying attention to ourselves, we can analyze our vibration, we can see where we need to kind of work on things, and we can make choices to move towards this more high vibrational life. So we can free ourselves up to love ourselves and love others, so we have more space to experience really joyous moments in this life. So I invite you to do this in your own life. I invite you to kind of analyze how things are feeling, the thoughts that you're thinking, and maybe see if we can change the direction of that a bit to make it feel a little bit more high vibrational. I really enjoyed making this video. I hope you learned a thing or two, and I look forward to making another video very soon. So thank you so much.